beautiful 80-degree day in Dallas, Texas. We welcome you to the American Airlines Center. The usual sellout crowd, better than 19,000, still making their way in for this Game 4 of the best-of-7 series. The San Antonio Spurs facing the Dallas Mavericks. First of our TNT doubleheader, Miami and Atlanta coming up next. Hi, everybody. Marv Albert along with Reggie Miller will be joined in just a moment by Marty Snyder working the sidelines. Ready to go here in Dallas. Let's check out the McDonald's starting lineups. For the Spurs, one change made by head coach Greg Popovich, going with Bruce Bowen as a starter. Bowen will open up against J.J. Barea, who has provided a big spark for the Mavs. And for Dallas, Kidd and Barea in the backcourt. Up front, Dampier, Nowitzki, and Howard. And here are the Mavs. They're up 2-1 in Game 3 Thursday night. Dallas crushed San Antonio by 21 points, only 67 points in Game 3. A franchise playoff blow for San Antonio. The starters were pulled early in the third. Reggie, it was an embarrassing loss. What do the Spurs have to do to bounce back? And that is the subject of today's edition of Cold Hard Facts, provided by Coors Light.
Well, they've got to get back to playing Spur basketball, and that is creating distance from that three-point line. 18 of 32 in games 1 and 2, only 2 of 17 in Game 3. Parker has to be in attack mode. He's averaged 31 points in games 1 and 2, only 12 in Game 3. And where's Timmy? 9 total points in the fourth through 3 games, only 5 points. More production out of the future Hall of Famer.
And just moments ago, Jason Terry was honored, winning the 6th Man Award, the 3rd Dallas Maverick to pull this off, following up on Roy Tarpley, Antoine Jamison. Jason averaged 19 points coming off the bench in 63 of the 74 games he played. And his teammates respond as the crowd did. The official announcement coming yesterday. Jason Terry, the NBA's 6th Man Award winner. This a revival of the Interstate 35 postseason rivalry as you look at the officiating crew. Mike Callahan, Scott Forster, Zach Zarba. San Antonio knocked Dallas out of the playoffs in 2001 and 2003. 2006, the Mavs beat the Spurs with that Game 7 overtime win. Dallas has won just one playoff series since then, beating Phoenix in the 2006 conference finals, but then lost to Miami in the finals. And following their 2nd consecutive first-round loss last year, Avery Johnson was fired, leading to the hiring of a man that you know well, your former head coach with Indiana, Rick Carlisle.
Well, Coach Carlisle really has put his imprints on this team and kind of relinquished the reins a little bit to Jason Kidd. When I was under Coach Carlisle, he called most of the plays with Mark Jackson, and he's kind of given free rein to Jason Kidd to run this offense for the Mavs.
Yeah, Rick telling us that occurred about 39 games back, and the Dallas Mavericks came on strong to finish as the number 6 seed in the Western Conference. San Antonio controlling the opening tip. Parker going at Kidd. Kidd not allowing that move along the baseline, and they have to reset. Now Parker with the step to the reverse.
That's something that was a point of emphasis, and if you listen to Tony Parker's comments after Game 3, he did not attack the basketball as much as he had done in Games 1 and 2.
Parker had that huge Game 2, and that is Dirk Nowitzki's. That was a 2-pointer. He has been having his difficulties from a 3-point range in this series. Now Parker fires. So Tony Parker off to the good start.
And that's scary because when he's knocking down his outside shot, it's going to make J.J. Barea as well as Jason Kidd have to guard him, and those avenues to the lanes are easier to get to.
And this is Barea, guarded by Bowen. And it's put down by Eric Dampier. And now they say it will not count. Offensive interference.
And you see Barea here with a nice little mid-range shot, and yes, the ball is still in the cylinder. Nice call by the officials.
Josh Howard switching off to Tony Parker. Nice lead pass, and Duncan with the bucket.
Well, it was really pick your poison on that because Tony Parker was wide open when he came off that jump screen, and Duncan does a good job of rolling, getting the easy lay-in.
As you touched on earlier, Tim Duncan only 15 minutes. The other day setting career playoff lows for Raya from downtown.
Well, the Spurs got caught in double down rotations and were just a step slow of rotating out, getting to a wide open Barea in the corner.
Nice lead by Parker. So Tony Parker not only hitting shots, but setting up teammates, and the Spurs have an 8-5 lead.
Tim Duncan already matching his point total from game 3, 4 points already, but his activity is certainly a little bit further than it was in game 3.
Howard gets it right back outside. 5 on the shot clock. Kidd for 3. Good box out by Duncan, although Dampier felt he was fouled. Here's Finley from downtown. Michael Finley, the one-time Dallas Maverick, extends to an 11-5 advantage. Howard got the step, and he's fouled. Duncan coming over to help out, and that'll put Howard at the line.
Tony Parker, we said he has to be in attack mode. You come off the pick and roll and wide open jump shot, but he finds Tim Duncan rolling down the middle. And here he comes off another brush screen and finds another wide open Duncan for the easy lay-in. Already 3 minutes, 3 assists, 2 of 2 from the field for Tony Parker.
Matt Bonner picked up that foul as he and Duncan converged on Howard. Josh Howard in game 3, 17 points, 8 rebounds, and just 26 minutes of play. It was all Dallas the other night, led by double digits in the first quarter, led by 36 points in the fourth quarter. Parker with the step, and here comes Kidd. Barea putting a move on Bonner. And the foul. And J.J. Barea is hearing it from the crowd. He was pushed by Duncan. J.J. out of Puerto Rico, a member of Puerto Rico's national team, played his college ball at Northeastern. It's his 3rd year in the NBA, and he has worked his way into the starting lineup. Howard for 3. Josh Howard in the past, not as much this season, but in the past has been a prolific scorer in the first quarter.
Well, he averaged almost 8 points in the first quarter this year, and that's having the bad ankle. Tim Duncan in another pick and roll situation with Tony Parker gets fouled. And we talked about Josh Howard and almost 8 points in the first quarter. Kind of cools off because Dirk kind of gets it going as the game goes on, but when you talk about quick starts, Josh Howard or Rick Carlisle and the Mavericks, it's always a plus to have a player who gets into the game very quickly.
Josh Howard playing through sore left ankle all season. Sprained the ankle twice this year, most recently in early March, and sat out 11 games, then came back at the end of the month.
How about Greg Popovich, as you alluded to, a change in the lineup, bringing in Bruce Bowen specifically to go against J.J. Barea. I think substituting offense from Roger Mason for defense of Bowen.
And you see Bowen just got picked off, and Barea is able to knock it down. Could you have imagined earlier in the season that a game plan would end up being dictated around J.J. Barea to the point where Bruce Bowen is in the starting lineup for defensive purposes to match up with Barea? And Duncan fouled again, and a technical foul has been called. Looks like Nowitzki has something to say to Scott Foster. He picked up the personal and was teed up.
Well, I like Popovich's game plan. Let's get the ball down low, as we said, to the future Hall of Famer, and that's what Dirk is so upset about. He felt that Duncan kind of hooked him with that right hand early before he made the move.
Michael Finley hits the technical. And now Tim Duncan back to the line. 2 shots for Duncan. 69% free throw shooter, which for Tim is not bad. That's an improvement.
Oh, we were talking with Pop before the game, and I told him I've been in this situation as he misses the first of two. When I've played bad, especially in a playoff game, you take all the pressure on your shoulders, and after game 3, Tim Duncan standing up in front of the locker room and telling the rest of the guys, it's my bad, it's my fault, I played awful, and Pop saying, no, wait a minute, this is a team game, we all didn't play particularly well. Tim Duncan misses both of them. And I like that from a superstar. You know, you've got to take responsibility.
Here's Barea getting into the lane, rebounded by Bowen. But you can see right at the start, one of the points that Greg Popovich mentioned to us, he was not happy with the transition defense on the part of the Spurs the other day, and that has certainly been a strong point here in the opening minutes.
Well, when you shoot only 2 of 17 from beyond the arc and only 32% from the field, you're going to be transitioning most of the game, and he just felt that the Spurs really didn't get back on defense like they're capable of doing.
There's Parker spinning on Dampier, and he scores. Took the contact and kept going. Crowd looking for a travel. Well, that is a typical Tony Parker move off the second effort following the contact. Spurs now lead by 3, and the Mavericks take a timeout.
Well, Tony Parker attacking the lane early, 6 points, and you see the nice little spin there using the glass.
We're back in Dallas, and right here, time for Gatorade Around the Cooler. Let's check in with Marty Snyder. Marty.
Well, Marv, as you mentioned, these Spurs star players were pulled early from game 3, and when Tim Duncan got to the bench, Coach Popovich told him, he said the quick turnaround to game 4 is why I sat you guys. I need you ready for game 4. But he also said the side effect of all that was he sat on the bench and, quote, simmered the entire time. Every Dallas bucket made him a little angrier, and he said that added fuel to his game 4 fire for today. Clearly, Duncan, a little more energy on the court. Maybe that extra benching, or early benching, I should say, helped out a little bit. Marv?
And Pop throwing in the towel, and then after the game, took the entire team out for dinner, and obviously picked up the tag. Foul from behind. It's on Matt Bonner, so Eric Dampier will go to the line. Jason Terry checking in just a moment ago following the timeout break and hearing it from the crowd. I mentioned he was honored earlier, winning the 6th Man Award. Can you recall any situation in your career where a team would give up on a playoff game? Although I can understand the thought of Greg Popovich because he felt, hey, this one is all over, although it is still early 3rd quarter. But it was a short respite between games, and this is a much older team, and I'm sure that's what was on his mind. Plus, he saw these guys just didn't have it the other night.
Well, I think Popovich's thinking is, I've got a veteran ball club, and you kind of go back to last year where in that series against New Orleans, going against a very young team, a spirited team, he felt his team had no shot in game 3. It's an early turnaround game, which he's not happy about with the schedule. But if you can get this game, you've got 2 days off between game 5 and 2 days off between game 6. So that's the thinking of Greg Popovich. Let me rest my veteran players and get ready for a game 7 type situation for the Spurs.
Duncan with the rebound, but he stepped out of bounds. Kirk Thomas and Roger Mason have come on for San Antonio. But about 67 points for San Antonio the other day. Lowest point total in Spurs playoff history, and the fewest points allowed in Mavs playoff history. Howard now being played by Bowen. And the steal as Thomas came up with it.
You know, they had 42 points at the end of the 3rd quarter. I mean, that's almost like a college game.
That was intended for Duncan, and here is Terry on a breakaway. Dallas with a 16-15 lead.
Jet in the right place at the right time. A little bit over penetration there by the Spurs.
Parker. There's a foot teardrop, and Duncan with the follow. So the Spurs back up by 1. It's a Dallas team that went 50-32 in the regular season. Off the deflection, Parker putting moves on Kidd and a foul. And it's on Kidd. It's called a blocking foul. For Jason Kidd, that is his first.
Both teams turning the ball over, which is leading to easy transition buckets, and not quite sure where Jason Kidd got Tony Parker, but enough for the officials to send him to the free throw line.
Let's take a look at the upcoming national TV schedule tonight on ESPN. Lakers and Jazz, Game 4, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Jazz coming off the big bucket by Darren Williams to beat the Lakers in Utah. Tomorrow on ABC, Boston at Chicago, Game 4, followed by Cleveland at Detroit. Also a Game 4. And then Monday on NBA TV, Denver and New Orleans, starting at 8:30 Eastern time. Earlier this afternoon, the Hornets hanging on to beat the Nuggets 95-93. So Denver now leads that series 2-1. Chris Paul with 32 points. Kidd not able to hit the three. And Nowitzki is fouled. Hit by Thomas. So Paul with 32 along with 12 assists. David West 19 points and 9 rebounds. Carmelo Anthony led Denver with 25 points.
A nice bounce back win for the Hornets there, especially getting off to that slow start. We don't know, maybe that early time might have affected them, but they found a way to win that ball game.
Kyle does not like the call. Last touch by Dallas, says Mike Callahan. So the ball back to San Antonio. Spurs now have Parker and Mason in the backcourt. Duncan with Thomas and Bowen up front. With Duncan going at Dampier, kicks it out. Bowen, yes. Now that's a rare 2-point shot for Bruce Bowen.
But that's all created by the drive of Tim Duncan. So much attention, and they converge on him. Wide open Bruce Bowen for the 17-footer.
Foul is called away from the ball. And now, oh, wait a second, defensive 3 is called on Duncan. So Nowitzki to the free throw line. One of the better free throw shooters in the league, and not able to convert on the technical.
Well, how about the Spurs? They shoot 32% from the field in Game 3. Already today, they are almost 67%. The ball movement is a little bit more crisp. And Tony Parker, his ability to get into the lane and create.
Howard, Bowen with the rebound. Just under 5 minutes remaining in this opening quarter. Parker, yes. Tony Parker with a very good start. 10 points, 4 of 7 shooting. It's an 8-0 run put together here by San Antonio. Pass intended for Dampier. Now Brandon Bass has come on for Dirk Nowitzki.
And when Tony Parker is able to knock down shots like this, because you remember when he first came into the league, shooting was not his strong suit. Great finisher, great speed, but knocking down that mid-range shot was very difficult for Tony Parker.
5th turnover committed by the Mavericks. And here's Parker again.
And you're going to have to force Tony Parker right, because if you allow him to get back to that left-hand side, very much the same way Dirk Nowitzki is, he's able to drill that shot.
Terry coming off the pick. Kidd passed on a 3. Terry, yes. Jason Terry with his second field goal. Spurs have a 25-18 lead. Parker putting moves on Kidd. Duncan. Bass with the rebound. They look to trap Terry. Now looking for Dampier to shoot the ball, and he does.
Well, they want him to shoot the ball, but more importantly, they want him to put pressure on Tim Duncan defensively.
Timeout called by the Spurs.
Well, this is gravy right here when Eric Dampier can be aggressive offensively. Welcome back to the American Airlines Center with the Spurs up by 5, and Tony Parker understanding that Tim Duncan had a very non-Tim Duncan traditional game, got him going a little bit early, and then now Tony Parker, 12 points, 5 of up field goals. You see the nice spin move right here, and this is the one avenue that he has really improved his game, that mid-range jump shot. Reason why the Spurs up 5 here early in this first half.
Reggie, remember about 6 years ago, the Spurs made a run at Jason Kidd. This right after the Spurs beat the Nets in the finals, and they were not sold on Tony Parker as a point guard. In fact, backup Speedy Claxton got the call in the fourth quarter from Greg Popovich over Parker. Then Kidd decided to stay with the Nets, and Parker developed into an all-star, a terrific player, but he took that personally when San Antonio went after Kidd. The foul is called on Terry, although the Spurs at the time said, well, we see you and Kidd playing together in the backcourt. I don't know if that would have been the case.
Well, in fact, Tony Parker went into Greg Popovich's office and says, what do I have to do to stay on the court and become better? And Popovich said, look, you've got to improve your outside shooting. And Tony spent that summer working and changing his jump shot, and now you kind of see the fruits of his labor.
And his Ime Udoka just came in. Not a good shot, rebounded by Kidd. And assistant coach Chip Engelland, who has been a shooting specialist, very instrumental in helping Parker improve that outside touch. Nice pass. Oh, the block by Duncan. Dampier recovers. Shot clock down to 5. Here's Howard with the runner.
All right, Josh Howard not settling for the outside shot, putting pressure on the second shot opportunity for the Mavs, getting into the lane, mid-range shot.
San Antonio up by 3. And here deflects it away from Duncan as they clear it out. And here's Duncan. Stay right here, says the outside official, Zach Zarber. The foul being called on Dallas. On Brandon Bass, he and Kurt Thomas involved, battling for that loose ball.
And I can see why Josh Howard and Brandon Bass are a little bit upset. Bass felt he had the inside position against Kurt Thomas.
Mavericks now over the foul limit. Thomas, an 82% free throw shooter, although has not gotten to the line frequently.
And this is what Brandon Bass and Josh Howard are talking about as the shot goes up from Duncan. A little bit of push right there from Brandon Bass to kind of send Kurt Thomas out a little bit. I don't know if it's enough for a foul, but he's at the free throw line.
San Antonio by 4 with just under 2 to play in this first quarter. Here's Howard. Oh, Josh Howard off to a fast start.
We talked about him being one of those first quarter scorers, almost 8 points this year.
9 points here in the first. Mason had it slapped away. Terry got a piece of it. Here's Terry for 3. Yes! Dallas back on top by 1. An 11-1 run by the Mavericks.
This is when the Spurs always run into troubles when Tony Parker has to go to the bench. Another steal by the Mavs.
Terry. Back tap. Terry again for 3. When it comes to Bass, another Dallas possession. Here's Kidd wide open for 3. 30-26. Dallas. Final minute, first quarter. Duncan, going glass. That ends a 14-1 run by the Mavs. Here's Bass. And the foul is called on San Antonio. The Spurs now over the foul limit. It has been a blitz here by Dallas.
Well, it's been the second shot opportunities of the Mavericks, 4-1 in the favor of Dallas. And look at the nice little shoulder move by Tim Duncan. Definitely more aggressive than he was in game 3. 4 of 6, 9 points for Tim Duncan.
So Eric Dampier to the line, only a 63% free throw shooter. Coming up next, it's the Hawks and the Heat in game 3 from Miami. That series tied up at 1 apiece. Nick Stockton, Logan Nazar, Mike Fratello, Carol Miller. They'll have it from Miami. That's the second of our TNT doubleheader. It's a 31-28 lead here for Dallas.
Well, this is definitely a Dallas Maverick quarter. It didn't start off that way, but already 31 points is too much points for Greg Popovich type team to give up.
Tony Parker is back, as is Matt Bonner. Parker got off to the good start, 5 of 8, 12 points, 3 assists. But with Tony sitting down, things took a turn in Dallas's favor. They now lead by 4. Got a second differential between the game clock and shot clock. Parker got the step and he was hit by Barea. So that'll put Parker to the line. And now Dirk Nowitzki will check back in. With 7 seconds on the clock.
And as soon as J.J. Barea turns his head, that's when Tony Parker, those are one of those tail signs that point guards look for. As soon as another point guard turns his head, wondering where the screen is going to come from, you go the opposite way.
Well, this series, Tony in game 1, 9 of 22, broke out with 38 points in game 2, the San Antonio victories. He hit 16 of 22 from the field.
Spurs have missed 5 free throws already so far in this first quarter.
Final seconds of the quarter. Here's Terry putting moves on Bowen. Rejected by Udoka. And that is the end of the first quarter, but it's a 16-4 run for the Mavericks. The last 3.5 minutes after 1. Mavericks 32 and the Spurs 29. A look at the downtown area here in Dallas. And it is time to talk, presented by Charles Schwab. Moments ago, Marty Snyder with Spurs head coach Greg Popovich.
Well, Coach, big Mavs run there at the end of the quarter. How do you stop that?
Well, you got to rebound the basketball.
And take care of it as well, I'm sure was on your mind. Tony Parker off to a terrific start. How important was that for his game?
Well, he's got to generate our offense. You know, he's the head of the snake for us in that regard, and if he doesn't do that, then we have a big problem.
Marv?
All right, Marty, Tony Parker in that first quarter, 5 of 8 from the field, 13 points. Now Parker defending on Barea. Barea and Terry are in the backcourt. This is Bass putting a move on Udoka. Bruce Bowen is back up front with Drew Gooden and Matt Bonner. Nice move by Parker, penetrates, and then he is fouled by Antoine Wright, making his first appearance of the day.
Well, the Mavs are going to have to decide what are we going to do on these pick and roll situations, because you can't allow Tony Parker to split, because once you let him split and he gets through both defenders, it's an easy avenue to the lane, and you've got to be able to foul him, which they just did.
We talked about the 38-point performance in game 2 for Parker, which, as you see, Tony splitting through the defenders and hit by Wright. And the 38 points led to Eric Dampier's statement that he would put Parker on his back when he came into the lane. Now that did not happen. And Dampier did retract that threat.
I'm going to say something. Stick by it. Don't be scared out here. Scared, hire a fire guy. Get a dog. Don't be scared. Don't take it back, damn.
Antoine Wright hits the 3. Well, the downside of that, you know that they were watching Eric Dampier very closely because there was no fine for that statement. You don't want bounties being placed on players. Parker's pass, not handled by Bonner, was slightly off the mark. And if there had been a hard foul,
then he would have been fined and suspended.
Absolutely.
But you know the league was watching him. But you know who else was watching him? Tony Parker. And that's what you want. You kind of want to send a little message. If you're Eric Dampier and Tony Parker, 38 points, and was getting to the lane at will in game 2, you send a little message.
Here is Barea. Fast from straight away. Let's check in with Marty.
You're right about the Dampier statement, and he immediately backed off of it the next day. But he did say it, magnified it about 100,000 times about how he's going to be called in the next game.
Parker with another nice move. Yes, it did get a little attention.
It got a little attention, but I'll tell you one thing. It hasn't deterred Tony Parker, especially in tonight's game, from getting into the lane and getting whatever he wants.
Barea gets into the lane. Here's Carey for 3. White not able to get to it. Parker does. Parker with the teardrop. Way off. Handled by Bass. Dallas on the move. Barea going at Bonner. And is fouled. What a move by J.J. Barea.
Oh, what was Rick Carlisle saying? Look, it makes our team that much more quicker when he's out there with Jason Kidd in the starting lineup. We tried this lineup 15 times this year, and we were pretty good in all 15. He just changes the way we want to run things.
And you see the profile on JJ out of Northeastern. Certainly had a career season, only his 3rd year, not getting much playing time in the past. He did play for Puerto Rico in the Olympic qualifying tournament last summer. Matt Bonner called on that foul. That's 3 on Bonner.
Well, Omar, they have him listed at 6 feet, which we know. That's a bold-faced lie. I think Jason Kidd was saying he was 5'6". That's not true either. So he's somewhere in between 5'6" and 6 feet.
You sound upset about these imaginary heights that do pop up from time to time in the NBA. Good. Rebounded by Nowitzki. But he can play. There's no question.
He's a difference maker.
Finley now defending on Nowitzki. Back comes Parker.
Bird still only with 2 points after that early jumper to start the game.
San Antonio down by 6. 3 minutes gone by in the 2nd quarter. Antoine White on the rejection. Bowen is back on Barea. Terry with the crossover. Terry. And a foul called. Basket will not count. Foul before the putback by Bass. That's on Parker. That is his first. So Jason Terry to the line. Tony giving his point of view to Scott Foster. A programming reminder, don't miss the new season premiere of Leverage this July only on TNT. Jason Terry earlier in the season sat out games due to a broken bone in his left hand, was able to bounce back very strong fashion. In the regular season, he averaged better than 19 points a game. The biggest lead of the game. Enjoy here by Dallas, up by 7.
See if Drew Gooden can get something going offensively down low with Tim Duncan on the bench.
This is White. Gets it back out to Terry. Intended for Nowitzki, saved by Barea. There's an open shot for Wright from downtown. Gooden with the rebound.
Spurs are real lucky that the Mavs don't have a big lead right now.
Mason able to save it and fires for three. All in one motion. Parker went down on a collision. Here's Terry to the pull-up. And Greg Popovich not happy with what he is watching in this second quarter. Takes a timeout with 4 minutes gone by. And the Spurs trailing the Mavs by 7. All right, back in Dallas, let's take a look at Reggie's mailbag presented by BlackBerry. This is really taking off. You know, when I travel around the country, I'm an airport, but it's so annoying. That's all people ask me about. That's all they want to talk about.
I'm sorry you're getting, so annoyed from people, but yeah, we have a great question from Edwin D. He wants to know, what do you think are some of the missing pieces of the Mavs from becoming a real championship contender? Well, obviously, you've got a Hall of Famer and point guard, Jason Kidd, a future Hall of Famer in Dirk. If I'm Mark Cuban, who's done a fabulous job at putting this team together, you're going to need a low post scorer. I love what Damp does on the defensive end, but, you've got Chris Bosh, who's going to become a free agent, possibly Amari Stoudemire. You need someone down low who's going to command a double team for your ball club.
Incidentally, it was not a pleasant early part of the week for Mavericks team owner Mark Cuban. Mavericks blown out in San Antonio, the one win of the series for the Spurs, and he had a root canal. Never fun. Ouch. But he's back in action, as you can see.
He's a trooper. He's a gamer.
While Mason pops it up, and Parker able to get right to it. Nowitzki thought he had Barea breaking further down court. 7-point lead for Dallas. Mavericks turning it with that 14-1 run back in the first quarter after San Antonio jumped in front early. There's Gooden on the post working on Nowitzki. Gooden swings inside and is fouled. He was hacked. Fouled on Nowitzki, and that is his second. Do we have one more from the mailbag?
I think we do, from Reggie's mailbag, and it comes from Craig S. and wants to know, hey Reg, don't you think you should mix more colors, pastels, or occasional neon color scheme into your wardrobe? Well, Mr. Sager, it is springtime, and yes, you are supposed to have more colors during the springtime, but not in the dead of winter, which you so often do.
I know Craig often confers with you on
Not
style.
enough. Not enough.
Very good, knocks down both. And it's a 5-point lead for the Mavericks. Barea working the point. Barea and Terry are in the backcourt. Wright for three. Antoine Wright, originally a first-round pick of the Nets, came into the league as a defensive player and is a good three-point shooter, but kind of a street shooter from downtown. He's hit 2 here in the first half. Duncan did not have the angle. Rebound, Nowitzki. Barea with a hesitation dribble. Nowitzki makes his move. He's actually fouled 3 times on the drive by Gooden. It's been a quiet first half for Dirk Nowitzki. Only 2 shot attempts, 1 of 2. 2 points. He does have 7 rebounds. Gooden picks up the foul, and it's a non-shooting foul. Got him early before the shot.
Well, your star player can only have 2 points, and you're up 8. That's a plus sign for Rick Harlow.
Barea for 3. Rebounded by Gooden. Emily looking for help. Parker trying to find the screen. Nice pick and roll, and Duncan is fouled. Beautifully done. So Duncan back to the line where he has struggled. The foul is called on Wright. That's his second. For more on Dirk Nowitzki, let's go back to Marty Snyder.
Well, Marv, you and Reg were talking about how it's a quiet game for Dirk Nowitzki. Honestly, it's been a quiet series for Dirk Nowitzki, and surprising that the Mavs have a 2-1 lead in a way, because he's only had one game where he scored 20 points, came into the series scoring 20 points in 25 straight games. I asked him if that bothered him after game 3. He said, not really, because we have played team offense. That's been the big difference with us. Other guys contributing, that's been the key for the Mavs.
I wonder if that left thumb, which has been wrapped, he jammed it in game 2. I wonder if that is having an effect.
Well, you'll never hear it from Dirk, and this is one of the guys who's twisted ankles and banged knees and still finds ways to come out and contribute for his team. And 25 straight games to end the regular season of 20-plus points. And I have him as a first-team All-NBA performer at my power forward position. Another free throw missed.
And a foul called on the Spurs. So the Spurs now 11 of 17 at the line. Gooden on that foul. That's his second. Duncan is 2 of 6 at the free throw stripe. 4th team foul committed by San Antonio. And apparently they are readjusting the clock. Jason Kidd is back. Dallas 32-9 here at home. They've won 16 of the last 17 at home since the All-Star break. 32-9, one of the better records in the league. Nowitzki to the fade. Using the height advantage against Michael Finley.
Yeah, he can shoot over Michael Finley anytime he wants. And plus he's fading away from the basket, which makes it nearly impossible to even contest the shot.
Spurs take a timeout. They have opened up a 9-point lead.
He's the honey. I mean, he's the guy who everybody knows, from us to the opponent to the people watching the game, that he's going to be a factor in the game, that he's going to touch it, shoot it. But, you know, the biggest thing in this series, we wanted him just to relax and be patient, because we know he's going to get double or triple team, and he's become a playmaker, and that can just only make us, you know, a better team.
Well, you know, when you're the best player, and obviously every night you're going to face double and triple teams, as Jason Kidd alluded to. But I like the patience so far. He hasn't really forced any shots. He's looked to get Jason Terry and Josh Howard into the game, and he knows as the game and the series progresses, he's going to get his looks.
Just under 6 remaining in this first half. Marv Albert, Reggie Miller, Arnie Snyder. We're at American Airlines Center in Dallas. Game 4 of the best of 7. Mavericks have a 2-1 lead. Spurs looking to turn it from the 88-67 loss this past Thursday night. The game that saw Greg Popovich pulling his starters early 3rd quarter. That counts in a foul. Tony Parker able to drill it. And the foul is called away from the ball. Mike Callahan with the call over at the scorer's table and now explaining it. And no, apparently
they're going to count the bucket.
Yeah, but the foul is maybe on. No, it's a defensive 3 that is called, and the basket counts. And now Scott Foster explains it to Rick Carlisle. You do not get the technical foul on a defensive 3 because the shot went down. So Tony Parker now has 19 points.
It's almost like the Spurs are in quicksand. I mean, they're down 7 right here, but you feel like they can turn it on at any time.
And as the pass went to Dampier, the foul was called as Bowen made contact with Terry. So Bruce Bowen is now defending on Jason Terry. Bruce Bowen, who has been referred to as Edward Scissorhands by Phil Jackson, which is a backhanded compliment, I think. And Edward Scissorhands, should be pointed out, was a successful movie several years ago starring Johnny Depp. Johnny in the role of Bruce Bowen.
Well, you know, Bruce, to his defense, He's very limited offensively. We know he's going to knock down threes in each corner, but he's out there basically to annoy you. And, you know, if you talk to Ray Allen, Rip Hamilton, and Kobe Bryant, all guys that Bruce Bowen has somewhat faced throughout the years, there's a lot of claw marks that are on their arms because of Bruce Bowen.
Now, would you put yourself in the category, and we know Bruce is a great guy off the court, of being annoyed by Bowen going up against him in your playing days as Kerry misses the layup, and Bowen is on it.
Well, when Bruce and I used to go at one another, he was much younger. He didn't have all the tricks that he does now.
The basketball for Howard and the Mavs, and they're able to keep it alive. Here's Kidd kicking it back out. Shot clock to 2. Howard loses it again.
Josh Howard just couldn't seem to come up with a handle on that possession.
And here is Parker getting it back out to Bowen. Parker went flying. Duncan putting the move on Dampier, and he scores. And Tim Duncan is, come on, he now has 12 points, 5 of 8 from the field. It's an 8-0 run here by San Antonio. They are within 1. Howard with the step. Pass picked off. Another Dallas turnover. And Parker putting it back against Perea.
Spurs, Tim Duncan and Tony Parker. 39 of the 48 points between those two players for San Antonio.
Spurs have taken a 1-point lead. Parker with 27 points is 4 points off the Spurs franchise record for points and a half. The record is held by the Iceman, George Gervin. Udoka on the foul. He did it in 1978 against Washington. What a start here for Parker. As Nowitzki goes to the line, we'll check in with Ernie Johnson back in our Atlanta studio.
Thank you, Marv. Southwest game break this afternoon in New Orleans. Denver with a late 7-0 run pulls to within 1 of the Hornets, 94-93. Clock winding down. Carmelo Anthony loses control and then cannot connect. And the Hornets hang on to win it. 95-93. It's 2-1 now, Denver in that series. Kenny and Charles will be here shortly with the T-Mobile halftime report. They'll break down the first 24 minutes in Dallas. And later, Game 3. Hawks and Heat tied at 1. Dick Stockton, Mike Fratello, and Cheryl Miller have it covered. Now back to Big D, Marv.
All right, thank you, Ernie. Oh, friendly rim.
Well, he's getting everything tonight.
And the Spurs now lead at 50-49. So Tony Parker with 29 points. And the Iceman getting nervous. Howard for 3. Rebounded by Fendley.
Well, Josh Howard got off to that quick start. 9 points in that first quarter. Hasn't scored since.
Duncan, nice fake, and then Nowitzki reaching in. Made contact and a foul call. Now they say it's Dampier. Apparently got to him first.
Now, if I'm a Mavs fan, I'm upset because the official underneath, Scott Foster, who has a play, eyes on the play, does not make that call. And Mike Callahan, who's on the outside with about 8 bodies between him and what's going on down low, makes the call. Those were some of the calls that were so frustrating as a player when the official, who's the furthest away, makes the call. Look underneath, there's Scott Foster. He has eyes on the play. There's so many bodies between the official Mike Callahan and what's going on. How can he see what Eric Dampier is doing behind as Mark Cuban starting to stand up and object a little bit?
And that could have easily been called on Nowitzki, who started to complain before the call was even made. Duncan 2 of 7 at the line.
Can you imagine if the Spurs were making their free throws? They might be up 6-7.
Well, San Antonio, a team primarily because Duncan does go to the line so frequently and has not had success at the line. In fact, the team has not done well. They're 19th in the NBA. Nowitzki, good job by Udoka, who was all over him. The ball is kicked out. Bowen knew that he kicked it out, but he tried to get the call. But it was last touched by Bowen.
Nice defense by Ime Udoka on dirt, forcing that tough shot.
A 20 taken by Rick Carlisle with a minute and a half left, first half.
Through NBA Cares, the NBA family demonstrates its responsibility as citizens of the global community. Whether it's our Basketball Without Borders program that takes us all over the world, or our efforts to strengthen and improve communities here at home, we work to leave a lasting impact every place we go. It's our way of showing that the NBA cares. On behalf of the NBA and all of its players, I'm Ray Allen of the Boston Celtics. The NBA, where caring happens.
San Antonio's hit their last 6 shots, 5 of the 6 by Tony Parker. And Jason Kidd will put it in play, just 5 on the shot clock. Minute and a half to go in this first half. Pass intended for Dampier. Nowitzki, fortunate to just get it away. Then it's back tapped by Kidd. Ferrer was right on it, beating Duncan to the ball, so they have the new shot clock.
Second shot opportunities for Dallas. 7 offensive rebounds.
Ferrer, rebound Mason. The Spurs have taken a 51-49 lead on the Mavericks. Parker over Kidd. Yes, he has been unconscious.
This is a show.
31 points to tie the Iceman, George Gervin. Most points in a half in a playoff in San Antonio franchise history. Parker on it. 3 Mavs get back. Parker putting a move on Barea and leads Duncan, who's pushed by Dampier, so Duncan heads back to the line. What a sensational performance for Tony Parker in this first half. He had the great game, game 2, with 38 points, 16 for 22. He has carried his team in the half.
And you see the nice little step back move, which we rarely see a Tony Parker arsenal, but a step back move jumper. 31 points. Are we gonna start calling him Baby Ice now? Is he getting ready?
Well,
You got the Iceman and Baby Ice.
he's had a number of strong games going up against Jason Kidd. I mentioned the situation that took place several years ago, although it has not been Kidd who has been guarding him throughout, but certainly there is motivation that has remained.
Well, let's go back to last season's playoff when Chris Paul, it seemed, somewhat had his way in the first round with Jason Kidd and the Dallas Mavericks as well, almost averaging a triple-double. You think maybe Tony Parker kind of picked up on that a little bit of attacking really the guard position of the Mavs.
So Duncan able to hit on both free throws, and the Spurs now lead by 6. The NBA playoff record, most points in a half, 39. And that is held as a foul is called on the Spurs. Held by Eric Sleepy Floyd. Back in 1987 as a member of the Warriors, did it against the Lakers. Mason on that foul. And a fellow by the name of Charles Barkley had 38 in a playoff half.
We know that. I think we know him. Seen him a couple times on this network.
What was the highest number you put up? I know in a quarter that you had 25 of your 39. I recall doing that game.
I wouldn't know in a half, but I think everyone knows 25 in one quarter is
that's pretty good.
Probably my most, yes.
Dallas just one of their last 8 from the field. And the Spurs can hold for a final shot of what has been a magnificent second quarter, which has basically been all Tony Parker. 31 points, 12 of 17 from the field. Final seconds of the half. You see Kidd digging in on Parker. Down at 2. And Bowen stepped out of bounds. So the ball back to Dallas with 1 and 7/10 seconds to go. Carlisle setting on James Singleton. And George Hill checks in for the first time for the Spurs. 1.7 left. There's Terry, fires away. Whoa, that was close. Just slightly off to the left. Spurs hit their last 7 shots. 6 of the 7 by Parker. San Antonio comes roaring back. They were down by 9, and they lead 55 to 51. Let's go to Marty Snyder and the red-hot Tony Parker.
Tony Parker continues to amaze here. 31 in the first half. Are you aware that ties a Spurs playoff record with George Gervin for points and a half, Tony?
The more important is winning the game. It was a tough game 3. They kick our butt. Yeah. And tonight, Pop wanted me to be very aggressive, and I try to be very aggressive from the get-go. And it's important that we play good in the first half. If we stay close, we'll get a chance.
Told me yesterday the offense is nice, but it's going to be the team defense that will win us. How key is that in second half, and how do you stop that inevitable run you're going to get?
We need to make stop. We need to make stop. We know they'll come back strong in the third quarter, so hopefully we'll be ready and do the stuff we were successful in game 2.
Coming up after a short break, it'll be to our Atlanta studios, the T-Mobile halftime report with Ernie, Kenny, and Charles.
Welcome back to Dallas, Texas. We are at halftime. San Antonio able to turn it, and they lead the Dallas Mavericks 55-51. Spurs trying to get back into the series, trailing 2-1, coming off that subpar performance, to say the least, the other night. And they finished the first half very strong. In the latter stages of the half, a 17-4 run by San Antonio. They hit their last 7 shots, and the combination of Tony Parker and Tim Duncan put up 27 of the last 29 points for the Spurs.
And they have 46 of the Spurs' 55 points, and it's really pick your poison, because when Tony Parker and Tim Duncan get it going like that, especially in the pick and roll situation, and Tim Duncan down low, finally that offense is coming, and Tony Parker, when he gets into the paint, this was something that Rick Carlisle was going to be a point of emphasis, trying to keep him out of the lane. But once he gets in the lane and he's knocking down jumpers like that, it's very tough. 31 first half points for Tony Parker.
All right, Reggie, time for the game summary brought to you by Dos Equis. Spurs end up shooting 56% for the half on 19 of 34. Dallas dropping off 39%, 15 of 39. See the points in the paint, points off turnovers, and Tony Parker with the 31-point first half, which ties Hall of Famer, the Iceman, George Gervin, for a Spurs playoff franchise record. And as we mentioned earlier, the NBA playoff record for most points at a half held by Eric Sleepy Floyd, who did it back in 1987, put up 39 points for Golden State against the Lakers. Let's check it with Marty Snyder. Marty.
Marv just talked to Rick Carlisle, the coach for Dallas. He said our turnovers were simply unacceptable in the first half. 10 turnovers for 17 San Antonio points. He said that's our biggest issue. We certainly have to be more aggressive with Tony Parker, but if we don't quit turning the ball over, we won't win this game, Marv.
And Dallas missing on its last 7 field goal attempts. Without a field goal the last 6 minutes of the half.
Well, they got to try to get dirt going offensively as well. Only 6 points in that first half and only 4 attempts.
Jinsky being played by Bonner. Gets it inside to Dampier. They trap him. Shot clock to 2. Howard for 3. Now Howard opens up the third quarter by hitting the long-range pop. And the Spurs now lead by 1.
Nice ball movement by the Dallas Mavericks.
All right, here's Duncan going glass. So San Antonio up by 3. Tim Duncan, 6 of 9 for 17 points. Here's Howard again for 3, and he is tripped up by Duncan.
And I'm wondering, is this a 2 or a 3-point shot? As official Scott Foster, it's a three-point free throw attempts for Josh Howard. Never want to foul jump shooters. And what is Tim Duncan doing out there anyways, contesting that far away from the basket?
Second foul on Duncan. Greg Popovich discussing it with the official Scott Foster, who just demonstrated the tripping motion. This a Dallas team that went 50-32 in the regular season. They finished as the number 6 seed in the Western Conference. They did win 7 of the last 9, including victories over Utah, New Orleans, Phoenix, and Houston. 140 points against the Suns, 130 against the Jazz, to go from being nearly out of the playoffs to finishing as the number 6 seed. Now Bowen open for 3. That's usually his spot.
Well, that's what is going to be your dilemma when you trade defense for offense. That would have been Roger Mason in that corner, who is a much better three-point shooter than Bruce Bowen.
Bowen starting the game here tonight. Popovich making a change. Berea with a wild flip shot that kept alive. Here's Kidd for 3. Jason Kidd with his second three-pointer of the game, and the Mavericks have taken the lead.
Well, whenever Jason Kidd can get his feet set, much better three-point shooter.
Duncan is fouled by Kidd.
Man, second shot opportunities. Damp does a good job of keeping the ball alive. And J. Kidd can get his feet set. You know, in the regular season, Jason Kidd is only 85 three-pointers behind Peja Stojakovic, which you wouldn't think that's the case. You would think Peja, who is a much better three-point shooter, only 85 three-pointers behind, third active players behind, obviously, Ray Allen.
Tim Duncan continues to struggle at the line. He's 5 of 11. Kidd shooting 41% from three-point land this season, which is about the same as his overall shooting percentage, although it seems he prefers to fire up threes. The Dallas lead is 1. 2 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Marv Albert, Reggie Miller, Marty Snyder were at American Airlines Center in Dallas, game 4 of this best-of-7 series. Dampier getting position and stops.
And that play was made by J.J. Barrera. Nice look away as soon as he got into the lane, which froze the Spurs defense and allowed Damp to get that easy bucket.
8 points for Eric Dampier. Good job by Kidd on Parker with some help. Making it a little more difficult for Parker to find shots. Bonner, that's his first field goal attempt. Bonner was out there for the most part to shoot threes. Bonner jumps out of Berea. Berea got the step. Oh, and Dampier fires one into the first row.
And he had Dirk Nowitzki wide open, and he elected to throw it over the defense and try to find Jason Kidd.
The Spurs during the regular season went 54-28. They won the Southwest Division, finished as the number 3 seed in the West. And they concluded by winning their last 4 and 5 of their last 6 games. That's a blocking foul on Dampier. At the start of the season, the Spurs were 0-3. First time in the history of the franchise. They opened up at 0-3, and as you see, that's their 12th straight playoff appearance, the longest active streak. They've been doing it down the stretch and in this playoff series without Manu Ginobili, sidelined by that stress fracture of his right ankle. Greg Popovich has been telling his players to eliminate Ginobili from their thinking process during the playoffs. He feels they have to be in the mindset that Manu is almost not part of the team. He doesn't want even any conversation about Manu Ginobili.
Kind of what Doc Rivers is saying about Kevin Garnett. As Josh Howard from the opposite side knocks down a three.
It's nothing personal against Ginobili. He doesn't want his team using it as an excuse.
Exactly.
Six-point lead for the Mavs. Here's Parker turning the corner and have the shot blocked. Last touch by Dallas. San Antonio will have 5 on the shot clock.
Well, nice skip pass by Jason Kidd, finding a wide open Josh Howard behind the three-point arc.
There's Duncan. He's turned back. Ryan Hollins, who had just come on for Eric Dampier, came up with the block. Nice play by Parker. Parker able to battle away from Kidd. So Tony Parker with 33 points. First bucket of the third quarter.
It looked like the Mavs are doing a better job, especially in pick and roll situations, building that wall for Tony Parker to see when he gets to the basket.
Shot clock at 5. Nowitzki under pressure, able to knock it down. 25 shots for Dirk Nowitzki. He's hit 3. He has 8 points. Dallas up by 6. San Antonio takes a timeout. Water all over Nowitzki, but he's able to hit it. Well, the Mavericks have outscored the Spurs 15-5 here at the start of the third quarter. Rick Carlisle, who replaced Avery Johnson, had success as a head coach in Detroit and Indiana. Your coach with the Pacers, your final 2 NBA seasons. Pacers won the Central Division title back in 2003, 2004, then lost to the Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals. 2004, 2005, lost to the Pistons in the semifinals. And a lot of hugging going on there.
Well, Rick and I had a special relationship when he was the assistant coach under Larry Bird, and he and I always used to work out before the games on some of the plays and the positions on the court where I potentially was going to get the basketball. So that's where our friendship really grew. And when he became the head coach, I was almost like an assistant coach because we had such a young team and kind of us going over game plans from day to day and who we're going to go against and teaching these young guys how to play the right way.
Murray got the step, could not finish. Ime Udoka back on the floor for San Antonio. Here's Parker kicking it out. Good recovery here defensively by Dallas. Udoka lost it and was able to get it over to Parker. Shot clock down to 9. Allen jumping out on Parker, then stepped away. Parker had the wide open shot and a foul as Udoka was pushed. Foul on Perea.
You know, Marv, we're wondering who else is going to score for the Spurs other than Tim Duncan and Tony Parker. This is where you miss Manu Ginobili because he was that third guy, especially being able to create offense for himself. You look on the floor, Udoka has to be set up, Finley has to be set up as well as Bowen, and this is going to be tough as the game progresses, especially with Tim Duncan. It's going to be tough for him to get buckets, and is Tony Parker going to wear down? See the turnover there by Tim Duncan. Is Tony Parker going to wear down after those 31 first half points?
In fact, aside from Duncan and Parker, the last 13 and a half minutes, no one else has scored for San Antonio. Here is Kidd, rebounded by Udoka. San Antonio in possession, trailing by 6 points. Udoka for 3. Duncan with the rebound. Duncan now played by Hollins with help. Udoka passed on a 3 and drew the foul.
Well, he got a little gun-shy on that one because he had just previously missed a three and should have taken the three in the short corner, but he elected when dirt was on him to take him off the dribble.
Foul was called on Howard. You can log on to NBA.com to enter the Barkley Zone. Exclusive interviews, opinion, and analysis straight from the mouth of Charles. Only on NBA. That's
scary there, Marv.
It is.
The Barkley Zone.
Ime Udoka in his 5th season out of Portland State. He's played in Spain, he's played in France, the D-League, the USBL. Spent some time with the Blazers. Kept alive on the back tap.
9 free throws missed by the Spurs so far.
Duncan setting it up against Hollins. Good job by a 3-year man out of UCLA, able to slap it aside, hearing it from this crowd.
Well, too much dancing by Tim Duncan. When you've got a player like Ryan Hollins on you, you've got to be able to back him down and make a quick move.
Hollins, a 7-footer, acquired from the Bobcats along with Matt Carroll in that trade for Sagana Diop. Shot clock down to 3. Duncan with a strong drive.
Why dance with the basketball? Make a quick move. Ryan Hollins is not used to the type of offense of a Tim Duncan, so don't dance with the basketball. Go to the hole.
Dallas up by 3. Howard. And here comes Parker. Dallas able to get back. Udoka.
I'm not quite sure Greg Popovich doesn't want to try and put Roger Mason, who's a better shooter than Udoka, as well as Bowen on the floor. You need some offense.
Back here comes Mason off the bench. Hollins is stripped and a foul. So Roger Mason played only 12 minutes in the first half. 0 for 2 from the field. The guy has hit a number of big shots during the course of this season, coming over from the Wizards. Apparently the ball was slapped away, no foul call. Ended up out of bounds. Oh, the alley-oop, but Hollins not able to handle it. And last touch by Parker. Apparently a problem with the shot clock.
They reset the shot clock, and it should only be really 3 seconds left because there was no possession on that. So still 3 seconds to shoot for the Dallas Mavericks.
4.5 to go in this third quarter. Barea. J.J. Barea. He was wide open. He now has 9 points. Dallas up 68, 63. So they've turned it. Following the difficulties they had at the end of the first half, while San Antonio went on that 17-4 run, foul on the Mavs.
Well, I like it, Ryan Hollins. You have disposable fouls to go against Tim Duncan. And you be aggressive, and you get into his body and make the officials call it. Even though you're sending Tim Duncan to the free throw line, he's missed 6 free throws tonight, 6 of 12 for Tim Duncan.
Dallas now over the foul limit. Now Jason Terry will come on for J.J. Barea. Jason Terry honored before the game as winner of the NBA Sixth-Man Award. Last year's winner, Manu Ginobili of San Antonio. Terry today just 3 of 12 from the field, 10 points. So once again, Duncan does hit both. Trying to turn things at the line. The Spurs now within 3, 4 minutes to play in the third.
I'm shocked that Dirk only has 5 field goals to this point.
Howard goes baseline, and he is fouled. Looked like Duncan got him. And that's 3 on Duncan.
I like the nice hesitation here by Josh Howard. You think you're going to go for a shot? Oh, no, one more dribble. Let me use the baseline as Tim Duncan comes over and picks up his third foul for the San Antonio Spurs. Never saw a foul that actually he committed.
There are a few guys like that.
I was one of them. Okay, mea culpa.
Were you over the top and arguing?
I wasn't over the top. Earlier in my career, I was hot-headed. I will admit to that. But the older you get and the more a better relationship you start to form and you become on a first-name basis with the official, it kind of dissolves a little bit. But I was a hothead my first 4 or 5 years.
Many of our staff members point that out. They feel that you've been hot-headed at production meetings. 70-65 Dallas. Here's Parker. And Tony Parker with 31 of his 33 in the first half. Howard splitting through for that bucket. Josh Howard getting to the rim. He has 21 points. 12 have come in this third quarter.
Well, he had a big first quarter with 9 points and is having a big third quarter for the Mavs.
Parker, yes. 35 for Tony Parker. 72-67. Dallas, Howard. Well, it has been a scoring duel between Tony Parker and Josh Howard, and Greg Popovich very upset with his team's defensive play. Good job by Kidd. Udoka to Duncan. Shot clock at 3. Parker eluding Kidd. Not able to hit from downtown. It's rebounded by Howard.
Pretty good look there by Tony Parker.
And Rick Carlisle says, let's talk it over. Timeout, Dallas.
Well, we talked about Josh Howard being a first quarter scorer, but tonight in the third quarter, 12 points. Nice little hesitation getting to the lane. And here's the jumper coming off the pick and roll. Josh Howard, 7 of 11, 23 points.
Back in Dallas, the Spurs seeking to even up this best of 7-2 apiece. Game 5 back in San Antonio and on Tuesday night. And here's a look back at the first 3 games of this series. Game 1 last Saturday in San Antonio. J.J. Barea and the Mavs bench with 39 points to help Dallas snap a 9-game road playoff losing streak. Monday, Game 2. Big one for Tony Parker, 38 points. Spurs in a rout, 105-84, ties the series at 1. This past Thursday in Dallas, different story. Dirk Nowitzki found his shooting touch, 8 of 12, 20 points. And the Mavs with that 88-67 crushing of the Spurs. And this is a most unusual game for San Antonio. Parker and Duncan have combined for 38 of San Antonio's last 41 points. Here's Howard for 3. Rebounded by Hill. So George Hill has come on.
Well, I like Greg Popovich's thinking. At the beginning of this series, he said, there's no way I'm going to play the rookie George Hill. And understanding you're going against a very quick team in the Dallas Mavericks, why not throw the rookie out there and get him some experience?
Once again, Ryan Hollins doing a nice job against Tim Duncan. Hollins coming on for Dampier. Mavericks up 74-67. Howard off balance and a foul. And the foul is called on Hollins. No, they say the other way. And San Antonio upset about the call. It is on Mason who was involved with Hollins. So Jason Terry will put it in play. Josh Howard has scored the last 6 points for the Mavs. He has 14 of their 23 in this third quarter. Minute and a half left in the third. And as Again, a foul is called on the Spurs. That's 3 on Udoka. For more on Josh Howard, let's go to Marty Snyder.
When you talk to Coach Rick Carlisle about Josh Howard, Marv, he says he is so impressed with him. And people don't realize, Coach says, how hurt he's playing. He missed 24 games because of a left ankle problem, 6 games because of a left wrist problem. He's taken 3 cortisone shots this year. And you got to realize he was out as recently as the next to the last game of the regular season. Definitely playing hurt, definitely leading his team right now, though, Marv.
All right, Marty, and yes, Rick Carlisle pointing out that Howard finished the season very strong and probably playing with more energy than the Mavs have seen since he made the All-Star team, which is 2 seasons back.
Well, you know, he had a few run-ins with off-the-court incidences, and people kind of question as Ryan Hollins comes over with the rejection on the rookie George Hill. And how about this spark off the bench for Rick Carlisle? George Hill thinks he has a wide open lane. Ryan Hollins with the rejection. Doing a little bit of the Jet imitation of getting the crowd into it.
Duncan going at Hollins. Nowitzki over to help. And a foul. This time it is on Hollins. So Tim Duncan back to the line. He's 8 of 14 from the foul line. Look at Ryan Hollins out of UCLA. Also competed for the UCLA track and field team in the high jump, long jump, and triple jump, and we saw what he can do in that department. Well, coming up next, the Hawks and the Heat in Game 3 of that series from Miami. They're tied at 1 apiece. Dick Stockton along with the Czar, Mike Fratello, Cheryl Miller will have the call. I would think by now Dick has had enough of his Czar.
What are you trying to say about?
Well, you know, you could take it for a game, maybe 2, maybe another half. There's a window of opportunity. Here's Kidd. Yes. So the Mavs have opened up a 10-point lead with a minute left in this third quarter.
I like the energy Ryan Hollins has brought out here for the Mavs.
They double up on Duncan. And Dallas has done an excellent defensive job here in the third quarter. Bowen not able to hit. Rebound Hollins.
And why not double team Tim Duncan? It really doesn't look like there's anyone else for the Spurs who can score.
Curry misfired on a 3. Oh, the steal by Kidd, taking it away from Mason, and Mason is called for the foul. Got him put Kidd at the line because San Antonio is over the limit.
And see what happens when Tony Parker goes to the bench. You don't have a really true point guard. This is Roger Mason, who is a shooting guard / small forward who's not used to getting the outlet pass from a big man. A normal point guard understands he's probably going to have traffic behind him. Roger Mason's not used to playing point guard.
Brandon Bass coming on. Antoine Wright checks in, replacing Dirk Nowitzki and Josh Howard. Howard sits down with 23. Nowitzki just 10 points, but does have 12 rebounds.
And Drew Gooden comes in for Tim Duncan. So now you have 58 of your 68 points on the bench for the Spurs. Someone is going to have to step up in these last 32 seconds, obviously, just to hold down the fort for the Spurs.
San Antonio outscored by Dallas 29-13 here in the third quarter. Bowen, yes. Bowen knocks down the corner 3. And Dallas can hold for a final shot here in the third. 9-point lead for the Mavs. Jason Kidd, 7 assists, 0 turnovers.
Welcome back to Dallas, everyone. The Mavericks lead by 9 points after 3 quarters. Marty Snyder with Coach Rick Carlisle for the Dallas Mavericks. And you hold Tony Parker to 4 points in that quarter. What changes did you make on him?
Well, we tried to stay aggressive on him. A lot of his points in the first half came off of our mistakes, turnovers, and he got transition. So being more efficient, I think being a little more tied together defensively helped.
Josh Howard, you expect to produce like that in the third quarter, but do you expect that kind of energy from Ryan Hollins?
Well, he's an energetic guy, and look, anything, to buy some extra minutes on Duncan. Dampier got his fourth. We got to keep our energy up. We got to keep our efficiency up. We got to keep our crowd into it.
Thanks, Coach. Yep. Marv?
All right, thank you, Marty. 29-16 advantage for the Mavericks in the third quarter, and they lead by 9. And Scott Foster, the official, able to handle some debris that comes flying onto the court.
What a killjoy. Give it to one of the kids there, Scott. They'll throw it to one of the ushers.
You don't like the fact that he crumpled it up?
Yes, give it to one of the kids.
Here's Mason. Popovich looking for some more scoring. Stays with Roger Mason, the rookie George Hill. Drew Gooden's out there now to give Tim Duncan a rest. Tony Parker sitting down. Kidd is open for 3. Look out, foul is called as Gooden. And Hollins got involved. A push called on Gooden.
Again, Ryan Hollins, because of his energy, an extra possession for the Dallas Mavericks.
Ryan Hollins, originally a second-round pick of the Magic, acquired in the trade with Charlotte. Getting minutes here this afternoon. Pass not able to hit. Udoka open for 3. So Ime Udoka now 0 for 4 in his 17 minutes of play.
Well, I don't know how long Popovich can keep Tim Duncan and Tony Parker on the bench. Obviously, no one else is capable of putting the ball in the basket for the Spurs.
White got the step. It counts in the foul. The foul on Gooden.
And this is a mismatch right here. There's no way that Drew Gooden is going to be able to guard Wright out on the perimeter. Wright does a good job of crossing over, getting into the middle, using the basket, and the foul from behind by Drew Gooden.
Antoine Wright, originally a first-round pick of the Nets, came to Dallas last February in that Jason Kidd, Devin Harris trade. Done a good job here today. Tim Duncan and Tony Parker check back in. They have combined for 58 of San Antonio's 71 points. And an odd stat, only 7 assists for the Spurs. The reason is that the ball, for the most part, has been in the hands of Tony Parker. Right? He's taking shots and has hit most of the shots. Remember, they set a franchise playoff record low when they were blown out the other day with only 10 assists, but different situation.
Well, I like what Popovich is doing now. He's deciding to go small. So Michael Finley is going to be your power forward and Tim Duncan your center, and you surround him with shooters. Even though Udoka has been off, you got the rookie out there, George Hill, along with Tony Parker.
Foul on Hollins, that is his 3rd. Hollins able to remain on the floor. Nice lead pass, Duncan to Parker. Dampier sat down with his 4th foul, and Rick Carlisle went to the 7-footer Hollins, and he stayed with him. It's a 10-point Dallas lead. 2 minutes gone by in the 4th. Oh, look out, Udoka making contact with Kidd, who was attempting a 3-point shot.
That's a veteran's move right there by Jason Kidd. He saw that Ime Udoka was running at him, trying to contest the shot. Just scoot over a little bit, take the contact, and act like you're getting the ball up. It's going to be 3 free throws for Jason Kidd.
And I'm told that they will review that last play just to make certain that Kidd was in 3-point territory.
And smart move. You see the little, that right foot, it's hard to tell right there if it's a 2 or 3. But both of these teams don't go to the free throw line a lot. The San Antonio Spurs actually are 30th in the league at free throw attempts at 20. Tonight they have 29, and the Mavericks are 26th in the league at getting to the free throw line at 22 a game, and they have 27 with Jason Kidd possibly getting 3 free throws here to take it to 30.
That's the lead official, Scott Foster. Taking a look at the replay. Here's perhaps a better angle.
Yeah, from that angle, it looks like it may be a 2-shot foul. Looks like the crest of the top of his sneaker is just on the 3-point line.
And that's what the call is. It'll be 2 free throws. Here the crowd react. And these days with HD TV and flat screens, you
Yes.
can see the image much clearer than in the past. And when we saw that second angle provided by our excellent staff, Director Bernardo Lowe and producer Scooter Vicino. Oh, an enlarged roll, I'm told. Look right here.
Yeah, that's definitely a 2-shot foul. It's nice that the officials have that luxury of going to the videotape and being able to make sure. You just want the play to be correct.
85-73, Dallas. Mavericks have hit their last 10 at the line. Matt Bonner is back. They have not allowed Bonner to shoot from 3-point land. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Hill for 3. George Hill, the rookie out of Indiana University, Purdue University in Indianapolis, as you like to say.
Ooey pooey.
Exactly. And he is from Indianapolis, a high school star in that area. So the foul is called on Hill.
That's already 3 team fouls against 4 team fouls against the Spurs. Next one, they are shooting the Mavericks.
Now Rick Carlisle will send Dirk Nowitzki, Eric Dampier, J.J. Barea back into the game. And the hand is for Ryan Hollins, who did an excellent job coming on to Dampier.
Oh, it's energy, and especially when you're a role player coming off the bench, you've got to do something to validate why you're on the floor. And Ryan Hollins did that.
At 3 block shots. White for 3. Kept alive by Dampier. And Nowitzki's pass sailing over the head of Wright.
And Wright saying that's my fault because I should have stayed in the 3-point corner. He was coming in assuming that Dirk was going all the way to the basket and he was trying to get offensive rebounding position.
Parker and Hill in the backcourt. Duncan, Bonner, and Finley up front. Parker off a nice lead pass from Duncan. That's 39 points for Tony Parker.
Only 8 in the second half. Better defense by the Mavs.
Wright trying to lose Finley on a screen. Now Finley playing Nowitzki. Shot clock to 3. And Dampier is fouled by his good friend, Tony Parker.
Maybe it was Tony Parker saying he was going to put Eric Dampier down.
Yeah, I think Tony said, Dampier, if you come in the lane, you're going down.
Nice move here. Back cut by Tony Parker. 39 points for Tony.
It has been a superb season for Jason Terry. Yesterday named the winner of the NBA's Sixth Man of the Year award. And before today's game presented with the trophy to make it official, Jason in his 10th season averaging 19.5 points coming off the bench in 63 of the 74 games that he appeared in. Missed 8 games with a broken bone in his left hand, and Jason becomes the third Maverick to win the award. Roy Tarpley in '87-88 and Antoine Jameson in 2003, 2004.
And I like his comments afterwards. Obviously thanking his teammates, but bringing the fans into this as well, saying he wouldn't be as successful as each and every night when he takes the court here 41 times a year. The fans supporting this Dallas Mavericks team, and he says he's hungry. He wants to win another one. But obviously he's going to have stiff competition if Manu Ginobili comes back healthy next year.
As you mentioned, Manu won the award last season, 87-78 Dallas. Still much time left, 8.5 minutes. Closing it on desperation time for San Antonio. Parker knocks it down. He has 41 points, which ties his playoff career high. Put up 41 against Phoenix a year ago. Nowitzki, that is only shot number 6 for Dirk. Kept alive by Wright.
Too many second shot opportunities all game. 12 offensive rebounds for the Dallas Mavericks.
Correa using the pick. And then here's the lead for Dampier, who could not finish. It was a good idea because Duncan had come out to play Correa. And Dampier, it's number 5.
Are they calling it a foul? Yes. It looked like he was going over the back of Tony Parker, just kind of shoved him out of bounds. And that's 5 fouls. And now you bring in the new Energizer Bunny and Ryan Hollins. Is he going to be able to contain Tim Duncan? Only 7.5 minutes left. You're going against an all-pro, future Hall of Famer.
Well, Matt Bonner recently treated a local elementary school essay contest winner and his classmates to a fun-filled tour of a local bakery. Students learned all about the bread-making process before sitting down to sample some of their fresh baked bread, complete with toppings of their choice. The NBA, where caring happens.
Reggie getting very hungry just watching the bread flying by. It's an 87-82 Dallas lead. San Antonio has come out, hit 5 of 7 from the field in the fourth quarter to work their way back into it. Dallas just 1 of 6 from the floor without a field goal the last 3.5 minutes. They had that drought earlier when San Antonio took the lead. Duncan slaps it away. Shot clock down at 3. Down at 2. That's a 3-point attempt by Howard. And how things have turned. Tony Parker heating up, 43 points in all, 31 in the first half to tie the Iceman George Gervin, most points and a half in San Antonio playoff history. Duncan now being played by Hollins, who came out for Dampier. Duncan goes right at him in the foul. It's a block out of Hollins.
Well, that's the best you probably could play him if you're Ryan Hollins. You stayed down on the jab step. You didn't go up for the pump fake. You knew he was going baseline. You slid your feet. You just kind of extended your hand a little bit, and that's where the foul occurred.
Duncan 9 of 16 at the line, but showing some signs his last couple of trips. Let's check out the upcoming national television schedule tonight on ESPN. Lakers and Jazz game 4 at 9 o'clock Eastern time. Jazz trying to tie that series 2 apiece. Tomorrow on ABC, Boston at Chicago, Cleveland at Detroit. Couple of game 4s, and then Monday on NBA TV, it's Denver in the Big Easy to face the Hornets starting 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Earlier today, Hornets beat the Nuggets 95-93. Chris Paul 32 points, 12 assists. So Denver now leads that series 2 games to 1. We're looking at an 11-2 run by the Spurs. They are now within 3. 6.5 to go in the fourth quarter.
And where is Dirk Nowitzki at? Only 10 points, 3 of 6, only 6 field goals.
Here's Kidd from downtown. That's his third three-pointer. It has been an excellent all-around game for Kidd. 17 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Finley on the stuff. The Mavs 90 and the Spurs 86.
Well, if you're the Spurs, you can't trade baskets with them.
That's a kick ball.
Look at the nice back cut and delivery from Tim Duncan. See the eye contact, he goes back door, and if I can turn back time with the finish by Michael Finley.
Michael Finley, a former Maverick, two-time All-Star here in Dallas. Terry's been off.
How about George Hill on defense? The rookie wasn't supposed to get much playing time this series. Popovich having trust.
Duncan going at Nowitzki. Offensive foul. Nowitzki outside the restricted area. So Duncan picks up number 4.
Well, and that's what Tim Duncan's saying is, was he outside the restricted area? And he definitely had both feet outside the restricted area. And here's the reaction by Tim Duncan. No, it's not where you landed. It's where he was when you went up for the contact.
Nowitzki with some space.
Ryan Hollins with the offensive rebound.
Here's Nowitzki, and then changed his mind. Looked like he was going toward the basket. Really picked off by Bonner. Terry. And Finley moves it across with 5 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Kid all over Parker. Parker to the fadeaway. And Kid battling with each other.
Easy could have been a travel call right there.
Down to 4.5 minutes to play here on the fourth.
Rick Carlisle going deep in his bench with Eric Dampier picking up his 5th foul. Ryan Hollins getting it done and bringing the energy off the bench, using his body, bodying up Tim Duncan, not worried about picking up the foul, making Tim Duncan take tough turnaround jump shots. Anyone coming into the lane, you protect the paint. And what do you do here? The nice follow offensive rebound, 5 rebounds for Ryan Hollins, though he did pick up the technical foul for taunting, letting his emotions run a little bit amok here. You don't want to give away points, especially with a team with only 2 players scoring for the Spurs.
And it appeared that he was going to apologize to every player on the roster. He felt bad about it. Rick Carlisle came out and said, "What are you doing?" But he's played very well. And now Finley knocks down the technical free throw. So the Mavs lead at 92-87 with 4:20 left in the fourth. And San Antonio will put it in play. Parker and Hill in the backcourt. Finley up front with Duncan and Bonner. And Tim Duncan playing with 4 fouls. There's Bonner, unable to find the 3-point attempt. And he's among the leaders in that department. Foul is called on San Antonio. It is on Bonner.
On the dribble handoff right there, Bonner a little bit too aggressive of trying to hand the ball off to George Hill. Didn't come to a complete stop and just uses his body to kind of shield Jason Terry.
Bonner in a battle with Nowitzki. Nowitzki with just 10 points. They double up on him. Bad pass, Parker. Chased down by Terry, and he is fouled. And Kid got it from the other side.
Tony Parker is gassed because any other part of time in the game, that would have been an easy, wide open layup. He allowed Jason Terry and Jason Kidd to catch up with him.
All right, let's go to Atlanta. Here's Ernie Johnson.
Thank you, Marv. Southwest game break. The Miami Heat off of their Game 2 win in Atlanta. Dwayne Wade, 33 points in that game. Even the series, now they are at South Beach, and black is back is the theme. Asking all the fans to wear black to the game tonight. That's still to come, but you got a long way to go in Dallas. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Ernie. Parker missing on his first attempt. And this is both, so he is 5 of 8 at the line. And San Antonio 22 of 34, and that has really hurt the Spurs. They're down by 5 with 3.5 remaining in the fourth. Nowitzki. Rebounded by Duncan. Dirk now 3 of 8 from the field. Finley with a deep 3. Hollins with the rebound.
Spurs can't find offense from anyone other than Tim Duncan and a very, very tired Tony Parker.
They're trying to post up on Parker. Shot clock to 5. And a foul as Howard made his move. His contact from Finley. San Antonio over the foul limit. Next foul for Dallas will put them over. Here's a programming reminder. Don't miss the all-new season premiere of Tyler Perry's Meet the Browns, May 27th at 10, 9 Central, only on TBS.
Very funny.
And Josh Howard way off on that attempt. So he is now 6 of 8 at the line. But the Mavericks have been hitting their free throws, 28 of 32. San Antonio trying to tie this series at 2. A win for Dallas. They're up 3 games to 1 with the scene shifting to San Antonio. Bonner finally got a 3 off, kept alive. And here's Hill for 3. That's his second from downtown in this fourth quarter.
What was Greg Popovich doing, keeping this kid on the bench the first 3 games?
Oh, what a second guess. Coming up on 2 minutes to play in the fourth. 3-point Dallas lead. They double up on Terry. They swing it. Howard to the rim. And he's fouled. Tim Duncan with number 5.
You've got to love the ball movement by the Mavs. And Josh Howard not settling as Tim Duncan is upset with the call, feeling he didn't get him with the body, and he certainly didn't get him on the wrist. But nonetheless, Josh Howard at the free throw line.
Howard a 78% free throw shooter. 8 of 10 at the line, 25 points. Five-point lead for Dallas as we come up on 2 minutes to play in the fourth. Parker from 3-point range. Hard to criticize Tony Parker the way he's played tonight, but that was not a good shot. But who else is going to score? George Hill has hit a couple of threes, you mentioned. Terry eluding Hill. Rebounded by Duncan.
Well, this is not a time to start going for quick threes. There's plenty of time. You get some twos and a stop.
Finley from downtown. Bonner with the rebound and had it swapped away. Here comes Kidd. Time running down on the Spurs. A minute 15 to play. Dallas in possession and up by 5. Kidd for Hollins. And let's see what the call is here. Foul, a push. And the foul is called on Hill. That is his second. So that will put Hollins at the line, a 59% free throw shooter. Guy who has not made many appearances at the line during the regular season, only 72 free throws.
Mavs going for their 36th and 37th free throws. Again, they were 26th in the league with free throw attempts at only 22 a game.
San Antonio with a full timeout in 2:20, so Hollins misses both. And that is deflected out by Nowitzki. The Spurs will use one of those timeouts. 1:05 left in the fourth. Dallas with a 95-90 lead on San Antonio.
It's amazing, I'm the reason everybody fired up this evening. No matter what, you'll never take that from me. He won the game! My reign is as it's over! The Jazz win it! Eyes can see. It's amazing.
Clock is rolling. Rondo finds Ray out. Elevates. Oh! Ray Allen has done it again!
So amazing. It's amazing.
Timeouts remaining. Spurs with a full and a 20. Mavs have the full and 2 20s. Both clubs over the limit. And Reggie, San Antonio has had a host of opportunities to close it on Dallas, but they have hit only one of their last 6 shots.
Well, that was one of the keys in them knocking down 3-point shots. Only 5 of 15 to this point. They were 18 of 32 in games 1 and 2. Obviously, only 2 of 17 in game 3. That was one of the things that has to be successful for the Spurs to create that space down low for Tim Duncan is knocking down threes.
1 minute remaining in the fourth. Bonner for 3. Rebounded by Howard. San Antonio just 6 of 21 from beyond that 3-point line, coming off the 2 of 17 on Thursday night. Nowitzki got the step. Dirk Nowitzki going right at Matt Bonner. And Dallas has opened up a 7-point lead. Timeout called by the Spurs. So Nowitzki with only his 9th shot of the game. He has 12 points, 13 rebounds. Spurs have done a good job against Nowitzki, but a big bucket right there.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. Southwest Airlines game break. They are underway in Miami. The only basket so far by Udonis Haslem. Miami 2-0 with the lead over the Hawks. Game 3 of that best of 7. So they're underway at the American Airlines Arena. Now let's get back to American Airlines Center in Dallas.
All right, thank you, Ernie. San Antonio able to cut that lead down to 3 on 2 occasions. Worked with that field goal by Nowitzki. Dallas now has a 7-point advantage. 39 seconds to play. San Antonio in possession. Parker gets it into Finley, fires up a 3, and that'll be a jump ball. That's the way it's been going for San Antonio from downtown.
Well, you want to try and get a quick 3 right here, but Michael Finley going left, trying to shoot back right. Now you create a jump ball situation. Any 2 players can jump.
It'll be Hollins and Duncan. Controlled by Howard, and he's foul held by Parker. And that was not a good toss. It looked like Duncan was able to steal the tap, but Howard was right there.
Well, who was blocking out Josh Howard as he kind of comes up gimpy after that foul attempt by Tony Parker? And you've got to put bodies on. This is like when a shot goes up, you've got to put bodies. The jump ball, you got to put bodies on each other, and no one puts a body on Josh Howard.
Actually taking another look at it as Howard hits the first, gets the run. It was a good toss. It's just that Duncan was able to step in quickly. Thought he had it, but Howard had it diagnosed. Howard now 10 of 12 at the line. He has 27 points. And the Mavericks have a 99-90 lead. Parker gets it out to Bonner. Once again, misfires on a 3-point attempt. So the Dallas Mavericks will take a 3-1 lead in this best of 7. runs it down. Only 35 points for the Spurs in the second half. Only 8 teams have come back from a 3-1 deficit. They ran out the clock, 24-second violation, but just 0.7 to go. Only 8 teams have ever come back from a 3-1 deficit to win a best-of-7 NBA playoff series. The last team to do it, Detroit over Orlando in a first-round series in 2003. So Dallas with a 3-1 lead on San Antonio. Game 5 back in San Antonio next Tuesday night, and the Spurs facing the possibility of their earliest first-round elimination since back in 2000. Marv Albert along with Reggie Miller and Marty Snyder saying so long from Dallas as the Mavericks beat the Spurs 99-90. Coming up, the Hawks and Heat. We go to Dick Stockton and the czar Mike Fratello in Miami.